Hello out there. How's everybody doing? This is everybody's very conservative in New York, Christopher Wright. Here to present you with one of my infamous walk and talk videos. What's today's walk and talk going to be about? It's going to be about, oh gosh, I can't stand talking about her because sometimes any press is good press, as Roger Stone would say, but I had to speak on this because it's out of control, and that's Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. You know, that's what I like to call her whenever I have to speak about her. But I want to speak at her because she made recent statements at National Action Committee, hosted by Al Sharpton in New York. And she came out and spoke to a majority black audience, and she laid on a thick Southern accent. Ugh. And it was horrible. It was like watching a bad actor in a movie, but you know, she went out there and laid it out, man. You know, saying it's okay if you fold clothes. You know, it's okay if you drive a bus and take out trash for a living. And I'm just like, you know, it was horrible. I'm like, I don't know what her point was. And speaking with that kind of accent, you know, to me, it's a Democratic Party agenda. Other candidates have done in the past. If you looked at Hillary Clinton, she spoke at a black church, majority black church, laid on a thick Southern accent. Joe Biden did the same thing when he spoke to a majority black crowd in Virginia. And when you watch them, when they speak, man, they speak in a way where it's like, you know, what exactly are they speaking on? Because, you know, when Joe Biden spoke, he spoke to a crowd, majority in Virginia, that's the area. And the majority crowd in Virginia, when he was speaking, you know, he mentioned to him, you know, do you want to be, you know, do you want to get put back in shackles again, or something along those lines? And I'm like, he's speaking to a crowd in Virginia that has a lot of, it was the area he was at had a lot of history of slavery, so a lot of blacks still had probably relatives that can date back to slavery. And you're talking to this audience that has a lot of that to deal with in the past, and you're bringing about, do you want to be put back in shackles again? Like, how dare you use something like that to try to, you know, fear tactic in a way? And it's what it is. It's political pandering, and the Democratic Party does it all the time. You know, Hillary did it with the thick Southern accent, like, you know, the hey y'all, and you know, Alexandria Cortez did it, and it was horrific when they both did it. And you know, what's so crazy after they did it, you know, they came after AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. You know, a lot of people online, not just in the black community, and a lot of other races kind of called out the BS. And when you watch them do it, they called it out. But the problem is, hold on 1 second here. They called it out. But the problem is when they call it out, you know, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez went on Twitter and she tweeted the fact that, oh, this isn't, what's the big deal? You know, this is how I talk. You know, you know, it's, I forgot she called it coding or something like that, like code speak, where she's like, you know, I'm from the Bronx. And, you know, technically, you look at history, she's not technically from the Bronx. You know, she just put that down on paper. But she said, I'm from the Bronx, and, you know, this is how we talk, and, you know, this is just, you know, how, you know, this is part of the community, yada, yada, yada. And she was trying to say it to, like, make it seem like, you know, this is just naturally who she is. She gets around certain people. It's just, you know, become just fitting the character of the crowd that she's hanging out with. But I'm like, and she pointed out a speech that she did for the Women's March that she talked about, and another speech, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but, you know, she's pretty much said that she's done in the past. And if you look at the speeches, she's never done in the past. She did it, this kind of accent specifically for this particular speech she did. And I'm like, you do it for the black community, and it's in New York, where this event was hosted. And she said she does that when she's back at home or she gets excited, she talks like that. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, you know, I've been in New York long enough, been in New York for 6 years now. And I've been out in the Bronx, I've been out to different boroughs. And I haven't met nobody from New York who speaks like that. No, nobody. So if that's like a New York accent, I don't know what part of New York she's trying to say she is. I mean, the Bronx, obviously, but that's not the Bronx. You know, her being Hispanic and everything, it's nothing like a Bronx accent at all. It looks like, it sounds like a Southern accent like you're trying to do somebody who's black from the South. But it just totally backfired on you. And now she's coming out and saying that, no, this is how she speaks, and people are taking what she said out of context, and they're the ones who are racist, yada, yada, yada. But yet, the left calls the right racist so much, so we call about the Republican racism. But I'm like, Donald Trump is the one who passed prison reform. Donald Trump is the one who did a middle-class tax cut to help the black community. Donald Trump is the one who did the trade tariffs with China, which increased the small business ownership in America. which is more jobs in the economy and the community. So, you know, I don't see, and not to mention before he's even a president, you know, he's getting awards from Rosa Parks and, you know, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, for things he's done to help out the black community when it comes to work and everything like that. So if this man's actually doing policies to help out the black community, while on the left, all you guys are doing is pandering and trying to talk like you assume the black community sounds, which, you know, pretty much doesn't require education. You got Hillary Clinton bragging about having hot sauce in her purse. And, you know, right before the elections in 2016, she did a rap concert with Jay-Z and Chance the Rapper, LeBron James and everybody. And she just assumed, hey, that's all I need. You know, to get the black vote, we don't got to pass any policies. We don't got to really do anything to support them policy-wise. As long as we, you know, talk with a certain slang and, you know, that should be enough. You know, throw them a concert, you know, hey, we got them, you know. So that's how much they think they have manipulated and brainwashed the black community, is they no longer, we're going to vote for them regardless of what they say or do to us. So, you know, try not talk a certain way. It's in like uneducated sounding way. It doesn't matter because that's how they talk. That's, you know, and that's how the Democratic Party feels about black people. And they always have. Back in the day, they did, like I said, millions of times in my previous videos, they used to lynch us physically back in the day. Now they're lynching us mentally. And this is a perfect example. If you look the way Alexandria Ocasio Cortez spoke to that black audience at the recent speech, if you see how they use fear tactics all the time. I mean, all the time they use fear tactics to try to, you know, get the black vote. And they don't really pass policy to say, hey, if you don't vote for me, you know, this is going to happen to you. That's going to happen to you negative. There's a bunch of negative things. He did the same thing as Trump running for president. Now he's in there. Look what Trump has done for the country and done for the black community. So instead of giving the man credit, they're doubling down on their fear tactics and their race pandering, and hoping the black community want to wake up to it and see the bigger picture because they think we're that ignorant. But, you know, I feel the black community is waking up. I feel the country is waking up in general. And it's going to be, you know, the left is in panic mode right now. They're like on their last straw right now. They're just saying, you know what, let's just go all out. And that's what they're talking about, reparations out of nowhere. You know, with Al Sharpton coming out talking about reparations. Like, they're not talking about reparations because they really want to do anything about the black community. They're talking about reparations because that's the last card they have in the deck. And they're like, they see the tide's turning. A lot of people are leaving the Democratic Party. So they're like, let's just throw reparations out there because that's our, you know, our last just thing that can grab, they feel can grab the community's attention. And that's the only reason why they're talking about it. So, you know, you got to look at the bigger picture. And that's the point of today's Walk and Talk today, is pretty much to walk away from the racist political pandering. You know what I mean? Walk away from the leftist agenda, just to use the fear tactics to scare you into a vote. So that is today's message. Hope everybody enjoyed today's Walk and Talk. Remember, if you like the content, to like and subscribe. And also, you know, I'm under 9 months under review almost for my monetization for YouTube. So feel free to donate to my PayPal. I have the links to the AOC video below, and also my PayPal. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. God bless everybody out there. And of course, God bless America. Adios.